Good morning, beautiful souls. Namaste. Welcome to my Advent calendar. Let's begin today with the daily inspiration. I thought today I would use Lisa de Saint Croix's deck, one that I've had on my desk for the entire fall. Welcome. My name is Sadhana. I'm a tarot reader, teacher, and inspired by everything, by life. I thought I would offer this Advent calendar. Have a jumper card. I'll just put that to the side. It's a beautiful Four of Pentacles card. Yeah, I really wanted to offer something this holiday season, and it's been really good for me to show up every morning and connect with each and every one of you. So welcome. Let this message inspire, support, bring clarity, both through your day, if you're at the top of your day, and if you're at the end of the day, let this message help you to wander and connect into your dreams this evening. As always, we ask these messages be in the highest for the greatest good, and that no harm be done. So be it. Okay. Oh, now isn't that interesting? Somebody asked me about jumper cards, and I said, I so seldom ever get them, and it's really hard for me to imagine shuffling a whole reading with only jumper cards, and we have two today, so they are. Ooh, and my table's really dark today, but okay, we'll make do. Very hard to adjust the morning lighting. So this Four of Cups card was the first one that jumped out. I love the view of the ocean, and this is a really important message. I'm sure you remember at one time sitting by the ocean and as a child, or playing with your own children or grandchildren and making sandcastles. And if you've never done that, it's just something very, very magical. But we all need to let them go. At some point, they need to go. The tide will come in and take it all away. And if it's not sandcastles, it could actually just be the day at the beach, because the tide becomes so high you can't stay any longer. There's no space for you. The ocean is claiming that space. The ocean needs to cleanse the beach. So many different ways we can look at this, but this is an important card of release and being with the natural flow of cycles. Now, you wouldn't necessarily feel that message would come through in a Four of Cups card. This is Four of Cups or Four of Pentacles? It's Four of Pentacles. Interesting. Yeah, so this idea of our abundance, our wealth, it's all temporary, we can't take it with us. And so let's really enjoy it while we have it, celebrate it. I think it's a beautiful message for this time of year. This King of Cups is really kind of, well, he does have a glass of wine in his hand, but I'm not sure. It's kind of dark here, and he's either fallen asleep in his chair, or he's also kind of looking back in a Six of Cups sort of way, which is what I was feeling as well too when this four came up on the table here. And I think there's no danger in that this time of year. Sometimes we need to hold on to a beautiful memory from our past that captures an essence that is no longer available to us, seemingly no longer available to us. It can be a balm in a time of a darkness. And know that sometimes that is exactly what we need. I would say another very powerful message here is, especially with that ocean rising up and taking the sandcastles away, is that we need to feel, we need to allow. And I think I talked about this a few days ago. We need to allow emotions to arise. And it's like the tide washing over us. We need to let them move through. There is very little service in containing that. And I think with fours, we need to be really careful about the degree of containment and release. For a period of time, containment may serve, but eventually we do need to let that layer of protection down and find a safe space to let the emotions flow. And perhaps the King of Cups doesn't have anyone to talk to. Perhaps he is a widow. Perhaps his family is all very far away. It's really sad, actually. And I have it's not my father, but it is the husband of my birth mother, my only living parent at this time. And I know, I know this sadness. He can't be lost in alcohol any longer. He lives in a home. Um, Not that he was, but there is this um, overwhelming sadness in loneliness at multiple stages of life. And so let's also remember to reach out and extend our hearts. This is a star. Beautiful. I think, this is another brilliant message of cycles and relationships. As above, so below. The stars are shaped Nuit as Nuit over a little village at night. And there's different ways we can find connection. But let's reach out. Let's make those connections. Let's take some time and write the letter and pick up the telephone and avoid the text messages. I think there's something here that it's so important to connect and to let people know that we're here and that we do remember and that we do feel. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, in the Four of Pentacles, there is an emotional component to that. I want to hold on because in this moment it makes me feel good, makes me feel safe. And I think at this time of year, perhaps there is something that I unpack from a box and it only comes out for a few weeks of the year. And so, yeah, so treasure that. So treasure that, acknowledge your connections, and don't forget that there are others that would benefit from you reaching out as well, too. Blessings. Hmm. I really like what Lisa's done with some of the cards in this deck. It inspires a different point of view. Okay, put you on the stand. I thought today I would share with you a few of my Thoth-inspired decks and my favorite Thoth-inspired deck. I don't think there's any deck that is, other than the Thoth, is the Thoth. And there's, in all of these, maybe I should turn the light up, sorry. In many of these decks, there are cards that I have a hard time working with, but there are some that just feel really special. And this is Robin Scott's Urban Tarot. Rarely do I pull this deck out, but it's one I haven't um, given away because I think there's some really beautiful cards in this deck, particularly some of the court cards. Like I love the kindergarten teacher, and there's a few that are really quite brilliant, and then some that are really kind of harsh. So this one, I would say, it's there. A few favorite cards. This is one that's definitely a favorite. This is the Vision Quest Tarot. And before I really started diving into the tarot, I never thought of this deck as a Thoth inspired deck. It is Thoth inspired because of the keywords and the way that it's organized, but I love the shamanic qualities of this deck, and I think that it took some very powerful energy and transformed it into more earth-centric shamanic messages. The lessons and working with the medicine wheel is amazing. And the devil card it's one of my favorite devil cards of all time. Yeah. So this is definitely one of my favorite Thoth inspired. There's actually more than I thought I had here. This is the sun and moon, which I trimmed this year. And there's a few cards in this deck that I think are absolutely amazing. And when I was doing my I didn't call it a day can walk. I called it something else. I broadcast for 40 weeks and did a Thoth inspired series. This is a really, really interesting deck, the sun and moon. However, if I have to choose my favorite Thoth inspired deck, it is my original Rosetta. Now, I have more recently acquired a Rosetta with the English on it, but I have the one that has the hieroglyphs on it. And this one also has gold border, a gold interior border. And Mel Moline has created some amazing decks. Her Tabula Mundi is also really beautiful, but I think there's something very special about the Rosetta, and I think this is my favorite Thoth-inspired deck. And of course, I've been sharing Ashera and my newer one, which is the Thoth Journey Tarot. And I don't think anything beats this one. It's really, really an outstanding card with the Phoenix for the Eon. I really love all the fire cards. They're just gorgeous. Yeah. So I don't pull this deck out very often, and today when I was thinking, wow, okay, I'm going to share my favorite Thoth inspired, I just had to show this one. So the favorite thing today that I want to share with you that is not tarot related, I found in a bookstore in India. And I was on a point in one of my journeys there where I needed a bit of luxury. I needed a cleanup. And so I spent money and stayed at a very fancy hotel, and actually kind of regretted it in the end. But at this very fancy hotel, there was this absolutely amazing little bookshop. And actually, I have seen this book. When I came back, I actually saw this book on Amazon. I need to back up here so you can get the full effect of this book. But did I buy this in India or did I can't remember. I can't remember if I bought it in India or when I was in India, I checked to make sure it was available at home and I bought it here and I ordered it here. I can't remember, but I saw it in India at this bookshop. Now, this is a small coffee table book. And you know those calendars that people gift each other for the new year, and it's like a message a day, a word a day? Well, that's what this book is. And it has a beautiful photograph of something in India, a human or a scenic photograph. And then on the left side, there is an inspirational quote from a famous Indian sage on the other side. And so I thought what I would do is I will turn to the page for today and I will read you the inspirational quote for today. These are just, the photographs are just gorgeous. And I don't think this book is available any longer. Last time I thought about gifting it to somebody, I couldn't find it. So today is the 7th of December. Here we go. Here is the photograph for today. Isn't that beautiful? And the message. And the message is from Rabindranath Tagore. The key to cosmic awareness, to a consciousness of God, is in the understanding of the soul. Look at the expression on her face. It's just beautiful. Understand the soul and you will understand God. I'll show you the front of this book. It's called 365 Thoughts from Indian Masters. Yeah. Okay. So what is Sadhana's tarot tip of the day? I began a series yesterday. I've done a lot of deep dives on my channel. A lot. And I have been wanting to do one on the Tildwick Tarot for a long time. And I have to zoom in to show you this. And yesterday's conversation. Yesterday I did a video on trying to get a handle on interior and exterior landscapes. Oh, good morning, Gerald. And hi, Anne-Marie. Namaste. Sorry, I had the comments covered up. And it was, I'm just going to put a couple cards on the table. It was really an interesting reflection. I didn't have any particular answers other than I think if we're going to dive into this deck, it's really important to start to reflect on this metaphor of the house, interior, exterior, perspective, and all of that. And so that's what I talked about for almost, 45 minutes yesterday. And I don't think there is, there's many decks that you can do this with, but my tarot tip of the day is to try path working. As I was going through the cards yesterday, I was imagining an estate that all of the cards in this deck were on the same estate. There's a chapel, there's a mausoleum, there are formal gardens, there are garden sheds that have been neglected. There are, and I was only looking at exterior landscapes yesterday. And these are three of the cards that we looked at. And I thought, if I really want to capture this deck in my mind, I need to do some path working. And I think these three cards are going to be brilliant for that. Because what is path working? And there's a few different ways to approach it. I tend to do it at night. And I have done it during the day, but I find it really effective to take a card to bed. I do a bit of breathing. I sit with the card. I sit upright. And I have I do have a magnifying glass, a lit magnifying glass. And I know it's not great to have bright lights before you go to bed, but, and I don't know what this is going to look like on the screen. You can't, yeah. So what I do is I may look at, I'm amazed this shows on the screen. I look at some of the details and I kind of go in and I continue, like I'm fully aware of my breath awareness, and I have the intention of wandering into the card. Wandering into the card as a personal journey, but also deepening my connection with the deck. Pathworking is a very personal experience, and those of you that do practice meditation of any sort probably can do this at any time of day. But it's really helpful. And if you have ever practiced to talk, which is something that I teach, it's like you stare at the card. And for example, I can imagine, I haven't done path working with this card, and maybe that's one I'll do tonight. I can imagine the gate opening. I can almost hear the gate opening. And I wander into the card. I don't know what I'm going to see there, and I don't know whether I'm going to meet humans or just wander through this estate, but it's sort of an open-ended process. It's like those children's books that have, alternate endings. And so yeah, so this is a deck, and it's going to be part of my process in preparing actually to teach these weekly, not teach, but to guide these weekly sessions on the Tildewick Tarot. Yeah, so that's my tip of the day. Try pathworking. It's really quite something. Oh, really, Gerald? Okay, well, that's good to know. Yes, choose your own adventure books. And I was thinking of something else as well too that that came to mind, where I don't know what it was. It just kind of flashed in and out. Something where you have this ability to, I have had the gift of this happening three-dimensionally. I have walked through portals, but I think it's a great exercise to get to know a deck. Good morning, Amelia. Namaste. So there we are. So may you all be guided and supported through this day. And with that message, the reading for today, I know who I'm going to call. And I actually received a beautiful letter yesterday from an old friend, and I'm going to sit down with a cup of coffee and read it word for word and write her a reply. Yeah. So take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste. Thanks for being here.